I moved into a neighborhood wrapped in silence and inflated square footage, an ivory cage traded for peace. Or so I thought. I brought with me just one indulgence, one pure, unapologetic love. My custom, matte black McLaren. It wasn't obnoxious. No midnight revving, no speeding past fences or furious music blasting from its veins, only quiet power. My therapy, my art, my escape. But not everyone saw elegance. Some saw a threat. And one woman, Karen, our HOA president, saw a villain. It began with a note. A single sheet of venom curled beneath my windshield wiper, written with the fury only a suburban dictator could summon. "Your car," it declared, "endangers the soul of this community. Fast, frightening to children, and a violation of our tranquil utopia." 2 weeks, it said. 2 weeks to vanish, or face unspecified consequences. I laughed, snapped a photo, filed it in my Karen Chronicles like a war trophy. Surely this was all bark, no bite. I wasn't breaking any rules. The HOA charter said nothing about makes and models. If anyone was endangering squirrels, it was Karen, whipping around in her Range Rover like she was late to a PTA brawl. But on day 15, the suburbs turned savage. I stepped outside, coffee in hand, ready to greet another overpriced sunrise, and froze. My McLaren. Destroyed. Not scratched, not dinged. Obliterated. Windows shattered, paint torn like tissue, tires gutted with surgical precision. It looked like it had driven through Armageddon. Neighbors peeked from behind blinds. One dared to approach. "I saw Karen and the landscaping guy messing with it last night," she whispered. "Looked weird." Weird? Weird enough to watch, but not enough to call the cops. Thanks, Denise. I didn't scream, didn't cry. Instead, I smiled, because Karen, queen of the coven, didn't know I had a guard dog made of pixels, a security camera hidden in the porch light. I went inside, calm, steady, pulled up the footage. And there she was, floral robe flapping, hammer swinging, ranting about vehicular threats like she was auditioning for a C-list horror movie. I hit pause, then hit call on my lawyer. Karen wanted the car gone. Congratulations, she just bought me a better one. She thought she was cleaning up the streets, a one-woman vigilante with a vendetta against velocity. But she forgot. I came armed with something she didn't have: truth, law, and 1080p HD. I gave the footage to the cops, timestamps, witness statements, the whole suburban saga on a silver digital platter. Even the officer reviewing the tape chuckled under his breath. No gloves, no mask, just Karen, swatting luxury like a piñata on Judgment Day. The HOA scrambled, issued a hollow apology. Not signed by her, of course. No. Karen doubled down, claimed she was saving lives. "That car was a missile," she wailed. "A danger to every child with legs." Logical? No. Loud? Always. She even tried to use the HOA rulebook as a weapon. But I'd already read every word, twice, highlighted it, annotated it. My favorite section? The complete lack of any clause banning supercars. Titled the file, Karen's Fantasy Handbook. By the time our civil suit landed in court, my lawyer was drooling. Property damage, trespassing, harassment, emotional distress, even libel, thanks to her flood of HOA-wide emails branding me a reckless street racer and fast and furious reject. Karen showed up to court like she was hosting book club, clipboard, no lawyer, and a pile of grainy photos of my parked car. Almost felt bad. Almost. But when the judge asked, "Miss Karen, did you damage the plaintiff's vehicle?" her reply, I did what the HOA should have done. I neutralized the threat. Silence. That heavy courtroom silence. The kind you can drink. Hearing number 1 rapped. One more and the verdict would be sealed. Karen strided in, full of false swagger, like she might get knighted for smashing my car instead of sued. I, on the other hand, sat there still, with the poise of someone sipping their water like it's vintage champagne, paid for by their enemy. Then came the slideshow. First image, Karen, mid-hammer swing. The expression? A horror movie villain meets Home Depot enthusiast. Laughter rustled through the room. Karen coughed. The court didn't flinch. Then came her emails, each one printed in glossy color, labeled and indexed. My favorite? This car is a symbol of decay. It humiliates the spirit of our community. The judge peered over his glasses. Ma'am, it's your email. Karen tried to plead her case again. But the children, the noise, the temptation. The judge nodded, then asked calmly, And so, you destroyed it? She nodded, straight-faced. I neutralized it. Even the court reporter blinked at that one. Then it was my turn. I laid out the data. Never over 20 MP. 0 noise complaints, GPS logs, noise logs. Neighbors who testified that they often forgot it even ran. I myth-busted her fantasy in the most glorious fashion. The judge finally sighed. Unusual case, he muttered, but the evidence is overwhelming. And then, the hammer came down. Karen was ordered to pay. Full replacement value of my vehicle, all customization costs, court fees, emotional distress damages, and a harassment fine totaling nearly $3,000. Her face melted into the table. Meanwhile, I smiled. I'd already ordered the new car. 2 weeks later it arrived, same model, same matte black, except this time, red racing calipers, and stitched into the leather headrests? Thanks, Karen. Subtle, sure, but oh, so satisfying. Karen's world, meanwhile, imploded. She had to sell her beloved Range Rover, refinance her home, leave the HOA board. Even her dog developed anxiety-induced bald spots. Meanwhile, I glided peacefully through the neighborhood, 10 mph, top down, speakers humming the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme. As Karen froze on her lawn, watering her wilted roses like a side character who lost to the final boss. At the next HOA meeting, she tried to salvage pride, claimed she acted in good faith. No one bought it. Denise even brought popcorn. The board voted to strip her of the presidency, unanimously. One member even motioned to ban her for threatening our peaceful nature. As for me, I installed a new camera system, top-of-the-line, 360-degree paranoia. Karen hasn't stepped foot within 10 feet of my driveway since. She looks away when I drive past, like I'm Medusa behind a wheel forged in vengeance. And in my garage, mounted beside my new security monitor, hangs that original HOA complaint. Right next to the freeze frame, Karen. Hammer overhead, justice inbound. I didn't win because I got another McLaren. I won because I reminded everyone, presidents don't get to make the laws. HOA titles don't come with pitchforks. And when you declare war over a grudge against a gear shift, sometimes you lose everything. Fade to black. Do you think Karen got what she deserved? Subscribe for more cinematic HOA war stories.